Now I'm going to briefly discuss my outline for today's presentation. I'm going to give you a brief overview of Libby, and I'm going to do 2 demonstrations. The first one is going to be searching Libby for English as a second language and foreign language study materials. I'm going to show you how to limit your search results, and I'm going to show you how to set your language preference. My second demonstration will involve changing the language interface. At this point, you should have completed the following 3 steps. You should have either downloaded Libby, the Libby app, to your digital device, or you should have gone to the Libby app on the internet, which is located at libbyapp.com. You also should have found your library by means of the Libby app, and then you should have entered your library card information, your library card number, and your PIN number associated with your library card. At this point, you would be ready to proceed to search Libby. So let's search Libby. As I mentioned, the emphasis is going to be on retrieving foreign language study materials and English as a second language materials. So I do that by typing in the following subject, heading, or category: foreign language study. I enter my search terms in the search box next to the magnifying glass and see what happens. Libby retrieves 264 audiobooks and 163 books. These materials have been assigned various categories or subject headings, and you can learn more about these categories and subject headings by clicking on more. If you scroll down in the list of headings, you can see the number of materials that have been assigned the particular heading. At this point, I want to refine this search to Spanish language materials, and I can do that in one of 2 ways. I can click on Refine and change my language to Spanish, or I can change my preferences to the Spanish language. First, I'm going to show you how to do it by means of refining your search. I click on Refine, and I have the option of refining my search by one of 25 languages. Let's see what languages are here. Spanish is up at the top of the list, and there are 50 items in Spanish, so I am going to select Spanish. Here you can see the search results change to reflect that I've refined my search. I've retrieved 43 audiobooks and 7 books, and they're all in Spanish. If I scroll down, I can see materials that are clearly intended for individuals who want to learn Spanish. And then there are also materials in these results for people who want to learn how to speak English, Spanish speakers who want to speak English. So I've retrieved English as a second language materials, as well as materials for individuals who want to learn foreign languages. The refine option does not carry over from one search to the next. So if I clicked on library and went back to the search screen and typed in a search, my search would not be limited by Spanish, limited to Spanish language materials. I'm not going to do that at this point. What I want to do is change the preferences to Spanish language materials. When I change the preference, my language preference, to another language, that setting sticks. So it's a sticky setting, and it will carry over to all later searches unless you change your language back to the default setting. So here I change any to, here are all my options, all 25 languages, and I click on Spanish and click on Apply Preferences. In the results, you can see that I've retrieved the same items, 43 audiobooks and 7 books. Some are materials for individuals who want to learn Spanish, and then others are materials for Spanish language speakers who want to learn English. So that's setting preferences. Again, it's a sticky setting, so you have to remember to change it back to the default if you want to do that. So I'm just going to do that now before I forget, and I click on Apply Preferences, and did that stick? It did. So I go back to library, and I can do my search again. And it brings up the audiobooks and ebooks that are associated with my subject or my category. So the final thing I want to show you is how to change the language interface. When you change the language interface, you're not actually changing the nature of the materials that you retrieve. You're only just changing the way that you access those materials. For example, certain words on the interface or in the interface. So to change the language interface, I click on the Libby icon, and then I go down to get some help. And I can choose my language, and Libby supports browsing in one of 9 languages. If I want to override the default setting, which is English, I can do that by clicking on English and choosing my language. And I click on Spanish. Libby will prompt me and ask me if I really want to change the language interface, and I say yes. And when I do that, the language interface changes to Spanish. So my search terms remain the same, but the language interface has changed. You can see, again, as I mentioned, the interface has changed, but the actual language of the materials and my original search haven't changed. If I click on one of the items I retrieved, you can see the blurb, which describes the item is still in English, but the interface elements are still in Spanish. Those are my 2 demonstrations in a nutshell. Just a word of warning about changing the language interface. Be careful, because if you're not fluent with the language or not able to easily navigate in the language which you have chosen, you may have trouble getting back to the default language, English. To do that, again, you click on the Libby icon, and then you go down to getting some help. And then you change your language by selecting your language, English in this case, and I say C, yes, I want to change it back. So now I'm back to where I was before. There are 9 ways to customize Libby. We've just covered 3 of them. We've covered filtering our searches, setting our preferences, and browsing in one of 9 languages. Other ways to customize Libby include sorting your searches, managing notifications, exploring catalog guides, tagging titles, and adding multiple library cards to your Libby sign-in. You also can choose your reading preferences, whether you want to use a Kindle e-reader or whether you want to use the Libby reader. If you have any questions about this presentation or would like more information about library resources, please contact the library. We can be reached by telephone at 954-765-1560 or by means of the Ask a Librarian service located at askalibrarian.org. Thanks for your attention today. We look forward to seeing you in the library, and have a good day.